Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're doing it to. What an exciting time to be alive. I'm Bushka and Blitz, and as always, I'm pretty excited. We had a fun stream last night, the Grunt Boys versus the World. We cycled through nearly 100 players, ended up doing an awful lot of good giggle. And this, however, is a standalone video par excellence. This is one of the Brawling Breakdown series, number 3, in fact, in that series. And it's all about how you should be fighting, brawling, doing that kind of thing, and making a living out of that. You want to be able to do damage without taking damage. And that's what we're here for, to give you a hand with that. Now, a couple of things. This is a patron-sponsored post. Now, the patron boys and girls and sponsors have finally been rewarded with something other than me letting them kick my ass around a training room. Today we posted up the 15-minute dead rail video to the sponsors-only section of the bushkaonblitz.com channel. For all those sponsors who haven't got a password for that yet, please contact me, send me an email, or jump into Telegram and add me at bushkaonblitz. Send me a message and I'll add you to the Telegram channel and the announce channel where we post all that stuff. Now, this video is about isolating. What the hell is that about, you say? Well, basically what I'm talking about there is doing damage to tanks or picking up a target while in the very close proximity of other tanks on the red team and not giving them the opportunity to really put shots on you or take you apart at all. And the reason that medium mobility is so important and it's so key is because it allows you to isolate tanks. It allows you to do things that you can't do in a big, more heavily armored tank that doesn't have the mobility. Now you'll see I've spotted just about everyone on the enemy team at some point so far. The only one I haven't seen is a Yag, but the 7-1 and the PTA are both pushing up hard into our nether regions. I am looked at the moment by multiple tanks, and the 103 on my left behind me is the biggest issue. I am waiting for the 7-1 to go past and the 103 to be in the wrong position so that I can push forward, isolate the 7-1, put shots on him, and put a big ass rock between me, the 103, and the rest of the red team, which we do. That's the essence of isolation, and you're going to see all through this game we use it exceptionally well. It's not to blow my own horn, but the 54 is fantastic for it. And people think the 54 is overpowered because of the great DPM and the fantastic armor and the heat and all that kind of thing. I load 7 rounds of heat in this game. I run 7 rounds of heat and I use them when I have to pen, not so much for anything else. And those 7 rounds of heat are about 2100 damage, which ends up being quite a small percentage of my overall damage. You can see here we're isolating on the Sent 7-1. We never gave him a shot at us. We never moved up to where the PTA could hit us, but it doesn't matter. The rest of our team's a bit rubbish, or not rubbish, he's just having a rough trot. They all went to the corner and they got pincered because they were very poor in terms of positional play. They're not getting much help from the IS-8, who is sitting in respawn. So it's basically me against the world. Now I'm going to use the IS-8 here. I am going to isolate. There's a Jagdpanther 2, there's an M103, there is an IS-3. I feel that the easiest way for me to progress is to kill the IS-3 first, hopefully before the rest of the team turn up, and just see how we go from there. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm putting this big building here on my left between me, the Yag, and the M103. That's important because it's going to mean that it's very, very difficult for them to put any damage in me without moving forward and exposing themselves to the IS-8 on my left. So I'm actually using the IS-8, even though I'm pretty certain that from the fact he was in respawn and everything, he's not the greatest player in the world. At least I can get some value from him. The Yag is going to pop soon, but that's fine. All I'm worried about is getting rid of one tank at a time while minimizing the amount of damage I can take from other tanks. The Yag is not where I want to be, and there's an M103 going to pop out. I'm not going to come around and chase him. I'm going to take my medicine, get this IS-3 dead, and I'm using heat, but I want to guarantee it. And then I've blown my engine boost, and I'm getting the hell out of town. I'm putting the building between me and the 103. And then I'm going to put the building between me and the Yag. Now, there's two tanks here. I'm going to isolate on the M103 because basically it's going to hurt me, but at least then I know I'm a chance of beating a 103 one-on-one. I am no chance of beating a 103 and a Jagdtiger one-on-one in a low health T54. I'm going to pull all the way back. I'm going to keep putting shots into this 103, and I'm using heat because these are the times when you have to pen. You can't miss, and 330 penetration is a lot better than 201. And I'm going to side scrape off this building here. You'll note I have not given the Jagdtiger a shot. We're both going to bounce here. We both fire 8, which is funny enough. The Jagd's pushing. I'm moving out, not giving the Jag a shot. I'm going to hit the 103 on the Blyby and turn finally onto the Jagdtiger. He has yet to do any damage to me, which is fantastic because he's been desperate to, but we didn't give him the opportunity. He's pushing his ass against me, which is one of the wonderful things about Blitz. One of the few games where someone can nearly kill you by ass crushing. And we're just letting him do that. We're very, very, very low on hit points, so we start being a bit more delicate about it here. But he's in dire straits, really dire straits. Very, very little chance of winning here against someone who knows what they're doing in a circle of death. And we don't go wide, we don't go crazy, we just stay behind him and maneuver. So we did all our damage there, 5,500 damage in an exceptionally small radius. We used a very, very small area. We used the rock area at the top, and we used that one little area next to the Mirage, and that was it. Nowhere else did we loiter around, and that's what I'm talking about when we talk about isolating the enemy. You can see here, I'm going to roll over. There's a 183 on an Object 140. I'm going to try and drag this 140 across. He wants to stay with the 183. We put 2 into him. He's not coming, so instead of going back and going Hellfire Leather, we go to a spot where he can't hit us and we can hit him. And that's isolating. Isolate the enemy. Be in a position where only one gun at a time is facing you, or ideally, none. And just roll behind buildings and tanks and sand dunes. It doesn't matter how close they are, it's whether or not they can hit you. And a T95 on one side of a sand dune with the E100 and you on the other side, they're not getting to you. You can have your merry way with the T54. You can do whatever you want to do, and then you can escape and you can get the hell out of town as the case needs to be. And that's all about being map aware. Watching the mini-map, counting targets. You saw when I was up the top of the ridgeline on Mirage, I knew where everyone was and where everyone was likely to be because I'm watching the mini-map, and I knew that when that Sense 7-on-1 rolled out, I needed to be up behind him or he was going to hit the flank and he'd be coming back at me very soon. And you'll learn these things from experience, but the most important part of it is that you don't ever let more guns than you want hit you. Now, that is not always going to work. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be in situations where other intelligent drivers put real fire into you and they know what you're about and they don't let you get away with it. But it's about playing the numbers. No one's going to carry 7-on-1. It's just not going to happen. You've got to have a really bad team against you to do that. What you're really looking for is you up your average damage, you up your survival rate. And if you up your average damage and you up your survival rate, guess what? You're going to up the win rate. You'll be blue, you'll be purple, you'll be whatever in no time. You'll be green. That's how you get better. You take less hits, you hand out more hits, and you give them less opportunity to actually put shots on you. And it's not about having the best armor profile, and that's one of the reasons why the Leopard 1 and the T54 and the T62A, all these tanks can actually survive in this game. Because mobility is key. It allows you to isolate and it allows you to be successful. I'm Bushker on Blitz, guys. It's been wonderful getting back into the swing of things after a short break and a bit of a holiday. I love you all. You've been fantastic. The support has been never-ending and amazing. And I can't tell you how lucky I am to have something I'm passionate about and a whole bunch of people supporting me and letting me do something that I'm passionate about. Until next time, boys and girls, stay safe on the battlefield.